Hello and welcome back to Yes and by Marin YouTube, where I talk about authentic alignment every single Tuesday. This week I'm going to talk about my yoga package that I'm going to launch next week. This yoga package is right in alignment with a lot of the things I've been talking about over the last few weeks. It has to do with the yes and model. So how I designed this yoga package is that each sequence, which there are 4 total, coordinates with one part of the yes and model. So the first sequence has to do with triggers, the second sequence has to do with roadblocks, and then practices, and then outcomes. And all along the way you can choose one thing to work through as you go through maybe daily yoga practice or a weekly yoga practice, or you can just take it individually, working through a certain trigger that's on your mind or working through a specific roadblock that has come in front of you. I was really inspired by this idea to embody the alignment journey. I love yoga, I love teaching yoga, and of course I love coaching, and I am so passionate to assist others on their authentic alignment journey. Personally, I have found a benefit in incorporating what we learn in life and taking it on our mat, incorporating what we learn on our mat, taking it in life. It goes both ways, and I find it so empowering and unique every single time I experience my yoga. So to break down more specifically what each of these yoga sequences is all about, let me start with triggers. Triggers, the sequence is all about listening to our cues to align. So for instance, what happens when you sit in a pose and you notice you are out of alignment, and rather than first fixing the alignment immediately, if you just embrace the feeling of being misaligned. The point of that is that you then build an understanding and a better idea of what that trigger is all about and how it benefits you, so that when you do align, then it becomes even more powerful, even more meaningful, and the next time you experience that misalignment, you have more purpose and more motivation and more understanding to go into your alignment. So this trigger sequence is a slower paced class, but still working through a vinyasa flow and really getting curious about our cues, getting curious about our misalignments and embracing them and understanding them, bringing some gratitude for these triggers because they are our cues to get into the alignment that we desire. They are necessary in our journey. In fact, they're often the first part of our journey. The second sequence in the Yes and Yoga package is specific to roadblocks. It's getting curious and building a relationship about things that feel in your way, things that feel like they're hard or they're preventing you from alignment. So maybe you experienced a trigger, you noticed a trigger, you even built a relationship with that trigger and understand it and know what it's trying to tell you, but still can't quite take that step toward alignment. What is that roadblock that's preventing that? What is that roadblock that feels really heavy or that hinders your practice or hinders your full expression? This sequence is all about going there, going into the fire and letting yourself feel that roadblock in its entirety. So again, you build a relationship and understanding for what it is trying to tell you. And when we better understand it and better build a relationship compassionately with this roadblock, then we can move with it rather than fighting against it or trying to suppress it or ignore it. So this sequence is a little more fiery, holding some poses a little longer, and then either noticing in our body physically these roadblocks that come up, our legs feeling extra tired or feeling like you can't possibly sit in Utkatasana chair pose for one more moment, or maybe it's metaphorical to something else that's going on in your life, a representation of a roadblock, and what happens when you bring that roadblock to your mat and sit with it and feel what it feels like to really let it take you over so that you can know whether or not you want to let it do that. Because if you're not listening to your triggers, if you're feeling the weight of that roadblock, that means that it is currently taking over your decision making. So that second sequence is all about understanding, building compassion for, learning about our roadblocks so that we can choose how we relate to them. The third sequence is the practices sequence. This is all about going through all the stages of the practices portion of the SN model. So starting with support, not only support from me as I guide you through practice and the video as you watch the representations of each posture, but also support from yourself. How are you showing up for yourself? How are you already here supporting yourself? And how does your body support itself as you move from posture to posture? And then it's getting curious about our body, exploring and fully experiencing every posture in its fullest so that you can choose what works best for you, nourish that option, and then align. That's the practices sequence. It's all about getting curious and going through that journey, not once, but time and time again, feeling the support that exists all around you and within you, and then going through your own alignment journey. Now that we've uncovered some of the triggers and roadblocks, how can we utilize them on our mat, in our body, and in our life? And last but not least, the outcome sequence is one to fully express your authentic self. Big movements, big postures, and big expression. This doesn't necessarily have to mean full joy and elation on your mat. This might mean deep sorrow. Just going to wherever you are in that moment, the time that you turn on that video. Where are you, and how can you fully express that part of yourself? Fully honor that part of yourself and enjoy the moment for what it is. Stay present. Go through the sequence as your authentic self. Now that you have taken at least one more step towards authentic alignment, feeling what that feels like and embracing the present moment. And then eventually experiencing your full authentic life, both on and off the mat. So once you start to more naturally and more frequently express your authentic self, you see that your life around you transforms, how you relate with everything around you transforms, and you experience the life that is yours, that has been yours all along, that you crave, that you desire, that you are working towards, and that I am here to support you with all along your journey. So that's a little introduction of the Yes and Yoga package to launch next week, the first week of December 2018, just in time for the holidays, to gift to yourself, to gift to others, and to experience our authentic alignment journey on our mat. I am so excited about this project. I truly enjoyed creating it, from the designing of the classes, to the recording of the audio, to the experiencing of it myself when I recorded the video. If you are curious about what my teaching style is like, you are in luck. I have a free Yes and Yoga online already. So you can have a full vinyasa class, 75 minutes of my teaching and guidance through video. I will post the link below, both through my website where you can learn more about that free yoga package, and then also the direct link if you just want to go right there and download the free yoga class for yourself. Please comment below if you have any questions about this yoga package, if you have any questions about my teaching style, about vinyasa, about yoga in general, and how I incorporate coaching and yoga into one incredible experience. I so look forward to sharing this with you next week. And again, in the meantime, feel free to check out my free full vinyasa sequence. Thank you again for joining Yes and by Marin YouTube, posting videos every single Tuesday to discuss authentic alignment. Please comment below if you have questions, follow me on any of my platforms to interact more about this authentic alignment journey and why I'm so passionate to experience it, to share it, and to help us all journey through it.